Hi, this is Steve Pendlebury from Steve Pendlebury's Long Stay Vintage Radio Workshop, and this is a radio of a type which is not very common now. It comes from Geordieland. It's a Strad radio, Strad, on the dial there you see. Now Strad radios, generally speaking, not many of them about. Well, you could say they're very rare, but rare does not mean valuable. This is the first one I've had in this workshop, so yeah, it's one mate which has managed to completely elude me. So yeah, um, I got it at the last Goulburn meet, and get this working me for the next one. Like it came from Andy. Andy bought it off somebody who's not coming to any more meets because he didn't make any money last time, but in fact she lost. Um, so it's the only meet in the northwest. So please support it and please come to it because we don't want to lose it. Yeah, I'm looking at this because put it back together, use it, and such like, and also because there are one or two things in this which do need to be looked at in considerable detail. First of all, with this, some of the valves in this are these types. These are pulled up so you can see. It's not the standard octal. These are a smaller type. Now these, you do have one or two little problems with these, so always be careful with them. But usually, if the sockets are okay and the valve pins are clean, you shouldn't normally have any problems with these. I hope. Basically, you just put the valve in and hope for the best, which is what I'm going to do here. There we go, it's in. Right, there we are. It's the primer valves in this, I'm not sure what other types are, but it's the U75 on the rectifier side, which is a standard standard one. This valve is a 50L6G2, they're quite common. This one, next one along, is a Novel. And this one too. I don't know quite what they are, but I'll find out from the diagram at some point. The thing with this is that Andy decided after we strung it that he's not very interested in this, mainly because he's not actually keen on M-only sets anymore. I am, because I want to see things working. It's a childhood pleasure of mine which carries through to adulthood, and so I thought we'd take a look. It's a long wave, medium wave, short wave set, and the speaker for it is in the case, so there you go to the speaker. Okay, so with that in mind, let's get to work on it. So and have a look. Underneath, by the way, it's a standard. There we go. It's a standard arrangement, as you can see here. So one or two caps will need to be changed, obviously, but first of all, let's see if it works. And that's basically it, So I'll now you've got the guide transformer there, okay. Now as far as these output transformers go, usually it's the primary of them that fails. Sometimes the output, most cases the primary. Okay, that's something else. It goes here as well as to the set itself through here. So that's something else. So before we plug it in, because I like to plug these things in and see what happens. I mean, why not? I mean, if you're not having fun, what's the point with the job, But before I do that, I'll have a quick look around with the meter and make sure that everything is fine, working and handy, as they say. We'll start with a quick look around. First of all, the knobs for it are back on because I wanted to operate the set without any risks. Okay, so if they're there, you'll put them back on, even though the set is out the cabinet. The cabinet's here. I'm going to need to at least varnish that, so that's to come. The radio itself, it's got a resistive dropper, which is always good fun. Yeah. Now this has got, these are actually for ones the right way around. You know, black is neutral on a set like this, of course, and it goes to deck. We can check all these things with the continuity checker. So of course, if we were to link that to deck, anyway, it doesn't matter where, and I'll link this to this like that. Like that. Okay, switch on there. Okay, that's on. Okay, fine. So now there should be something at the end of the volume, the plug end, as it were, although there's no plug on it. So we simply go from there to there, and we should get, and we do. That's okay. This actually did have earth as well, but you don't earth these chassis. You don't, okay? You just don't. I suppose you could if you want, but it's not advised, okay? Anyway, that's okay. And if we switch it off, whichever way it goes for off, like that. Off, and of course on this way. Okay, so there we are. So that's okay. Right, okay, now the other half of it, of course, goes to the switch, and then it goes to the down here. So if I was to put that on bare like that, we should get something. Oh, we do. Okay, fine. And just prove a point. No, we don't. Okay, so that proves that the flex is okay, the off switch is okay. Goes down here to this down here, which is I think set for 240 volts. This one actually goes down to 115, so this one will probably work in America as well, where they have that sort of voltage. Now from there, of course, if I was to put that onto there like that, like so, okay, and we go to the switch up here like that, and see what we find. So that is now on. Okay, that's on, okay, so that goes on to there, goes on to there. Okay, so now we should get something somewhere like there. Okay, go there. Okay, that's okay, and of course there. Obviously the switch in the way there. So that appears to be okay. The bulbs, they have to be okay, otherwise we wouldn't get the current to the neutral pin. These can get between the chassis and neutral, which I don't like, but I'm going to leave it in this case. Okay. Now, from there, of course, it goes to the rectifier valve, which is here, and the 50L6, which is here. That's the rectifier, the smoother, which is 40, 30, 20. Okay, not to worry, we can deal with that if we need to. Okay. Now, the next thing we do at this point, therefore, because I'm this way inclined, as you know, is give it a bit of power and see what it does. Because what's life if it's not fun, eh? What is the point of life if it's not fun? None really, is there? So we'll go and have some fun. I know people have different views about this, but I take the view that, you know, you only live once. Other people take the view that, you know, think about the other radios won't be fixed if you're not here to do them, which again is equally valid. I'm putting it through the bulb limiter I've got here. Yes, I've got one now, and so that would take most of the load, if anything is, shall we say, not suitable for to put directly through the mains. That's a 7T6, by the way. Yeah. That's one. Okay. This is number 2, which goes in here, like that. That goes down. And the valves, it lights up to some extent with the bulb in place. Let's see if it does anything, if we see any light anywhere. Okay, let's try doing that. Okay. Well, they're on. Okay, that's something. Okay. Ah, we have light. We have light. I'll go back to the bulb for now, and it dims down again. Okay. Right. Well, in that case, I think the next thing we do, knowing that that's okay. Now the rectifier on these, if you don't give them enough voltage for the heaters, they won't rectify. That's one thing with these. Okay. There's nothing going to make me dangerously ill here, so in a minute I might possibly do without that. But what we can do at this stage is go on the input transformer and see all the smoothing cap and see if there's any anything which should or shouldn't be there. So again, meter to deck, negative to deck, like so, 600 volts, and there we go. Okay. 2 volts, okay. Note. 2 volts. 2 volts. Four volts there, okay, it's coming up I think. Ah, here we come, 8 volts. We're getting somewhere, 8 volts, 10 volts. Ooh. It's coming up. Two. 29. 47. See what that comes out, comes up and settles out, shall we? 64 volts. $78. Ooh. 55. 85. Okay, fine. 86. Coming up, coming up. What the heck? Let's have some fun. There we are. Yeah, this is a bit more like it. Ah, cooking with gas now. 210. 891. 219. Let's see where it comes up. What comes and settles up. 212 volts. That's 220. Okay, fine. Okay, fine. That's in the ballpark, as it were. So we'll put the speaker on and see what it sounds like. At this point, even if it works and picks up stations, that doesn't mean it's finished, because the thing which needs to be checked on this before we say it's finished, and of course it needs a bloody go clean. So you know. Anyway, that's to come. But we know that the rectifier is okay. That's getting warm. The valve filters are all okay. So now it's a case of finding out a number of other things which need to be looked at on this. And I think that is probably one, isn't it? Okay, not to worry. Let's put a speaker on and see what we get.
Sorting up the value of the squad, right? Probably that squad earned more in a week than the entire value. So don't give me that.
Well, you're going to be City today, mate.
Ah, okay, fair enough.
Liverpool and City
That's the volume control there.
that they can rotate.
As you can hear, this set is actually working just about. Well, working pretty well actually. So there you are. By the way, this actually is an export set. It's two shortwave and a medium wave. So there's no radio 4 on this, but that's not a problem. But because it's got two shortwaves on it, of course we've got the chances to look at stuff from abroad on it, what some DXing maybe, which is something which is quite good nowadays. You know, because of course the more European and British stations close down, the more we get for people in other countries. So it's certainly worth doing. But anyway, this thing, of course, first of all, there's one capacitor which needs to be changed. It's the green capacitor. We know the one. It goes from the anode of the first IF stage to the pentode. So find that, change it, and of course try the radio again, and it will sound a whole lot better. I've replaced two capacitors in here, left two out for now. The tone control cap has been left out, and so has the one that quite often goes across the rectifier. Don't need those for this. But let's see now what happens when it comes up. Now at this point in the proceedings, we should see a voltage there when it comes up. Now, can you see that? Just go in here, yeah, where there should be at some point a voltage coming up. Yeah, okay, fine. And so should the audio. It's a bit low, isn't it? Okay, not to worry. Okay, my fault. The wire off somewhere, one that I tacked in, and it's come out. So if we put that back in and try again. This speaker, by the way, is not the original one, so might not say 100%, but we'll know straight away if it's got problems, you know. So we will put that back on like that and try again. So now again we go in there. That's okay. Comes down actually, that now. Okay.
Ministers, as we've been hearing, want
to ban new leasehold properties being sold in England and Wales. Currently, third-party landlords set charges for things like ground rent and maintenance. The idea is to move to a common hold system where homeowners are in control. One of the world's most prolific blood donors, whose plasma saved the lives of more than 2 million babies, has died in Australia. James Harrison was 88. His family says he died in the care home in New South Wales where he lived. That's the news. Tell us back with the sports.
Hi there again, Claire. Fulham say they're utterly appalled at racist and homophobic abuse received by
sounds all
Calvin
right to
Bassey
me.
after the penalty shootout FA Cup win at Manchester United yesterday. The club has vowed to take the strongest form of action against those who've sent abusive messages to the defender, which he shared on social media. The former Manchester United first-team coach Benny McCarthy has told BBC Sport that Erik ten Hag had planned on being the club's manager for 10 years. McCarthy, who worked under the Dutchman for 2 seasons, has just been appointed the new boss of Kenya. Nottingham Forest boss Nuno has denied...
Right, well that's something. There's a slight hum on that, so I'll check up for that as well. But so far so good. Right, the hum on this, it comes from, I think, the output pentode. The way, well, certainly the output pentode is starting to fail on this. You may wonder why it is that the one capacitor which has to be changed at any set, and this is why. This is the anode of the stage before. Okay, if we go where you can see it, how's that? Yeah, and that is reading about 73 volts. Okay, fine. Yeah, the other half of it here. If we go down to like 2 volts, like that on the scale, with the capacitor in the way, there should be nothing going through there at all, and it's a new cap and it's tested. But as you can see there, there's it does actually, it is slowly going up. Not very much, but it is slowly going up.
Intended target, but Forrest get it back again, but more. Going on Anderson, and Ipswich are rolling up their sleeves here, and they are getting stuck in.
Now, as far as I'm concerned, it is not enough in a set like this for me to warrant changing the valve. So I'm not going to. I'm just not, because, well, I don't think this would be much more than a self-cleans tune anyway, unless the shockwave is particularly good.
In the right back position.
It's like it's alive anyway. Well, that is shortwave. He's picking something up. Another shortwave band is there, and we'll have a look and see what happens there. Again, it seems to be all right. Let's have a stop, look and listen, as they say. This one does now, but this one here does. So it's obviously working on shortwave as well. So in this position, I think the next thing to do is have a quick look and see about aligning it a bit better. Now, on this set, it should be something like 455, 465 kilohertz IF, something like that. I will check on that, and then of course I'll do the IFs. Now, the IFs on this are turn it around so you can see. It's there and there, okay. The two big cans on the top. Now, when people have mucked about with these, normally it's just the top ones, but we align everything. Now, when you're aligning any radio, the first thing you do is keep your signal down. That stops the ADC from coming in and upsetting your readings you're doing it. And then, of course, you know that come up quite well, didn't it? There, didn't you know that? Eh? That come up fairly well. That bottom end, same again. If things don't want to move, I do tend to leave them. I do tend to leave them, and I think you should too, because if a core breaks inside one of these, then you've got another. It's not irreparable, but it does take things a little bit more bit long to sort out. So if that happens, so generally they shouldn't, but if they do, then leave them. Okay, simple as that. Okay, now with those two cans sorted properly now, if I now take that out of the way, like that, doesn't have to be a connection that goes straight to the set. Now, of course, by the way, the tuning knob has been freed. I gave it a spray of this stuff that's penetrant, and it seems to have cleared that. So there you are. Okay, so there's not a lot on the end there, but there's some. So and if you get a set that's good for DXing, then there is a lot to be had. Okay. That's the shortwave. She's doing something. again, shortwave 2 seemed to be dying off, which is a pity because it was. There's the other shortwave band. So anyway, that's that looking okay. So now we have to sort out the physical side of it, as it were. Now that's done. The speaker, that's not the right one. I know that, but we can. The original speaker for that is in here, in the back of this thing, which does need. I gave it a go over with some cabinet polish the other day, but it's not brilliant, but but you know, I've seen worse. So again, I'll give it another clean, and then of course put this radio in this cabinet with this speaker. Before we go any further with this, let's have a quick look at the circuit. I found a screwdriver, there we are. Right, anyway, this Strad here, by the way, is not this circuit. It's similar, but it's not the same. Sometimes you have to do that, make you get the nearest circuit you can. This is one such example. The difference is that the Strad we're working on has dropper resistor and this transformer. Apart from that, it's all the same. Okay, even the valve actually, I think. But anyway, this set, these sets, they have three of the. They're not novel. They're another octal valve which locks into the base and has smaller pins. I'll get one. Hang on. They're quite hard to get out, actually. Come on, up they come. There you go. Hey dear. That's not coming at all, is it? Okay, hang on. Enough of coming them, are they? But they're. I'll try that one. Yeah, these valves, they're not going to come, obviously, and I'm not going to force them. These pins on these are thinner, and they clip into the valve base. Some people have problem with them, I don't. The thing with them is to make sure that they're in seriously and straight, make sure the tube bases are okay, and the pins are clean, and they won't have any trouble with them. The use them in the army, so must be alright. The two are international octal valves, they're fine. Anyway, this set, I've got a few interesting facts to it. First of all, that's the output pencil there, and of course it goes to that capacitor there, which must be changed. In this case, I think there was a spot of grid current on the pentode itself, but not very much. So you know, we'll leave it. But what happens is, of course, that has to be kept lower than the cathode. The cathode is kept higher by that resistor, that capacitor crossing. That's what they do. Okay, so from there, if that capacitor leaks, it puts that voltage up there on the first grid. It makes the valve work twice as hard, and some valves cope with it better than others do. EL4 ones vary drastically. EL84 seem to be so. UL84 seem to be okay, but anybody who's got anything with EFE with ECL86s in, that's the problem. That's why they're always so bad. Also, they run them pretty hard on the hacker record players, which isn't the best thing for them. Anyway, so that's bit. But also, I've changed that on the volume controller and that on the tone control. So there you are. This Strad, by the way, is not the one that we're working on, but it's very, very similar. This set, it's marked as a 00 summer. I don't know what. But with its external speaker in.
Next couple of games. Yeah, going back to Anfield finally, that must feel like a bit of advantage, doesn't it? Knowing the second leg's there.
Tuning's good on it.
Got a big deficit going into that game. That's why I think tonight Liverpool get out of here with the minimum.
That's okay.
They'll be very happy going back to Anfield.
That's shortwave there. Okay. So anyway, this one does appear to work fairly well, as we saw. I'm going to put it back to where it should be.
Runs, Cheltenham. It's a proper festival.
There you go. Right. Anyway, also with this, these sets of this kind, if you look at the dial, you will see that it is no light, no home, no third, no London, none of that. They're all foreign stations on the dial here. Okay. Also, the dial for a set dates back to 1961, 51, is in kilocycles rather than meters. Why is that here, you ask? Well, this set was for export. So how come it lived its life in Britain? Well, Strad, also known as GM Electric, I believe, they came from Gateshead, and that part of the world were very much a fishing community as well as other industries, and people at sea often were in great peril, and of course they all believed in God. I'll come back to that in a second. And of course the wives at home have a radio so could listen in abroad and see what was going on and what the conditions were like and things like that, you know. So these were quite common for that. Okay, now from that there's a very funny story emerges. Like I said, they were all very religious people, and of course one fisherman took his accordion on the boat with him, and of course with the radio, very soon a request program developed with people playing hymns over the airwaves, which of course was not really what it was for. And it got so bad with people on the sea playing tunes on hymns on accordions that the Home Office had to get involved. Seriously. So obviously they did, and for that reason this set and many like it used to use for that reason, and of course probably to listen to the requests as well. But anyway, that's what happened there. Anyway, this radio now works quite well. The cabinet's not brilliant, but I've done the best I can with it in a short length of time, because, well, why not? And for that reason I think it's time to put this set into service again.
Are working, you know, multiple jobs just to get by.
So there you are.
More of a hate watch.
In its cabinet, this sounds brilliant. It really does.
That's a fair way of putting it, I think, isn't
But
it?
it's a radio which friends very well. They're quite a rare brand actually. There aren't many of them about, but for that reason I thought and get this one working again. So there we are. What do you think of these? Well, there are one or two things with them that I'm not too happy with. One is the fact that the tuning string side of it does break quite easily on these, and also it doesn't seem to be clamped to the top of the cabinet like it should be. That's one thing. But also, if the lights on the top failed on this, there isn't anything in the way to make sure that the radio will stay on. So dead bulbs on this mean a dead set, which is something which I don't particularly want. Anyway, that's it for me for this week. I'll be back soon with another radio or something like this from the past here on Steve's Longstay Vintage Radio Workshop. Until then, goodbye and keep fixing radios. Bye bye.
I'm not so sure because streaming services tend to go for limited series.